Teachers Union SADTU is concerned by the deteriorating quality of literacy in South Africa. SADTU in the Free State has been locked in meetings to find solutions to the challenges facing pupils. For more on this, we're now joined by the Provincial Secretary, Mokholoane Moloi. So, Moloi, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for speaking to us this evening. Now, you have been gathering in meetings for the last few days to establish some of the challenges that pupils are facing. What has come of your meetings to this point?
Yes, no, thank you very much for having me on the show. Yes, indeed, as the organization in the Free State, we are currently having a principal forum who are actually members of SADTU in the province, so trying to look at the various strategies that they can employ to ensure that there is delivery of quality public education in schools. Also to ensure that there is learner discipline and that even the safety in school is also improved. So we look at other curriculum matters in terms of how we can improve on curriculum coverage and curriculum delivery in schools, because principals as agents of change are very central on delivery of quality teaching and learning in our schools.
Mr. Moloi, the 2016 Ministerial Task Team found that SADTU, which is the largest teacher union in South Africa, has significant control over the management and administration of education in several provinces. What specific actions should be taken to address this issue and ensure that education priorities surely are determined by educational experts rather than individuals such as yourselves or other unions?
No, it's not that SADTU is actually controlling the Department of Education. So, but SADTU is a key stakeholder in education as we organize teachers who are the employees of the department. So we have a critical role as the organization to contribute towards improved quality public education in our country. So to others, it might be seen as SADTU being in control. It's not being in control, but it's how we influence the education of our country in the direction that we believe is relevant to can assist our country in moving forward.
Now, you talk about influencing education and obviously going in the right direction. Now, the results of the 2021 Pearl study reveal that only 19% of grade 4 learners in South Africa can read for meaning. Does this suggest that you are not doing your job or you're not having sufficient influence as you'd like?
Yes, but what we need to look at is the issue of with which countries are we benchmarking on? Is it all the African countries also involved in that kind of the survey that was conducted?
Yeah, but Mr. Moloi, if you'll allow me to come in there, the statistic says that 19% of grade 4 learners can read for meaning. So it doesn't need a comparison. I think if I say to you only 19 out of 100 learners can read for meaning, I don't need to compare it with any country. It's a statistic that should not be acceptable, do you not think?
Yes, no, that is why I'm saying as and when you venture into debate, you should also look at with which countries actually are we benchmarking. And it is not correct to dismiss and say there's a poor performance in terms of the teachers in our schools. So you look at other contextual factors that need to be actually addressed at the level of the institution. So yes, there is some challenges that needs to improve, but the situation is not that bad to can even say totally that the teachers are actually failing, because the very same learners are actually graduating, moving from that grade 4 up to the level of grade 12. That itself indicates that there is some work done even beyond that grade 4 up to the level of grade 12, where we find many of the learners still doing well at the end of their 12-year period of schooling. Yes, there is a need for improvement on that particular matter.
So you're happy that it's only 19 out of 100 grade 4 learners that can read for meaning?
Not really that whatever survey is saying we will be happy anyway. But what we are saying is that we cannot dismiss the effort that educators are actually being put on anyway. Even if the study is done, it doesn't done on every learner. So we are still doing some good work as the organization, as teachers and as the department in education, but there is a room for improvement, as guided maybe by the statistic itself, that we need to put some more effort on that aspect of maybe reading for meaning. So you look at many contextual factors, because we have still those learners in those remote areas, in the rural areas, where even the resources, like even the material and also so, are still a challenge. So you have to look at all those contextual factors as you then move forward in terms of trying to address this problem that we are currently facing in terms of reading for meaning in our schools.
Well, Mr. Moloi, you asked for us to contextualize and not look at this randomly without comparing with other countries. Now, South Africa performs significantly worse than similar middle-income countries in the Pearl study, despite having a relatively higher per capita income. So what do you see as the main reasons for this performance gap, and what strategies will be implemented to bridge it and improve the quality of education in the country?
As I indicated, we have conversed here as principal from different areas in our province, so that we can join hands in terms of what strategies can then we employ in terms of trying to remedy the situation moving forward. Because we believe that the principals are very critical in terms of supporting the teachers in the classroom, and also ensuring that the department brings all the necessary resources to support the teachers. So this is a collaborative work that we should venture in. It's not one stakeholder that can fix the situation. It extends even to the society itself, because at some point, if the homes, the learners are not exposed to reading and supervision and so forth, so that of course will even affect their performance and attitude, even at the level of the institution. So we are trying to look at all aspects, because even the Department of Education was also here, because we need to collaborate as different stakeholders in ensuring that the situation will then improve. Anyway, the department also presented some of the strategies that they will then implement moving forward. So tomorrow, as and when we'll be concluding the session, then we'll have those issues that emerge from this particular forum. We consolidate them, and then moving forward, we put them in action.
Mr. Moloi, one of the issues that has been raised as posing a problem for the challenges that we are currently facing is that of cadre deployment. How do you react to that?
Cadre deployment in which way?
In some of the institutions, certainly in schools.
There is no cadre deployment in schools, and as far as we know, as SADTU, because there are processes that are legislated that are normally followed when employment is to be made in any institution. So at the level of the schools, we don't talk of any cadre deployment, because educators to occupy those positions are based on their qualification, their competencies in terms of the criteria that will have been set by the panel itself. So we can't in education talk of a cadre deployment, especially at the level of the schools. It doesn't happen that way.
So let's talk about plans to review and update the curriculum in South Africa at the moment. and teaching methodology to align with best practices. Are there plans to put that into practice?
Come again?
Are there any plans to review and update the curriculum and teaching methodologies to align with standard worldwide practices? I think one of the biggest challenges has been that we are not equipping young people, certainly the learners, with the skills that they need to go out into the real world beyond high school or university.
That is one of the topics that we're also discussing in terms of realigning our education to meet the economic world, that is the skills needed for the country. Yes, there is a need, and there are some developments on that particular matter, because honestly, we can't live in the old order kind of the system when the world is changing. So we need to move with speed as a country to ensure that whatever is produced at our institution of higher learning is actually talking to the demands in terms of the market out there. So that's why we also focusing on that particular matter. We got good speakers also sharing some ideas in terms of how we should collectively move forward as a country in terms of ensuring that our curriculum, because as the organization, we also talk of a decolonized kind of an education. So it means we must disrupt the status quo if we have to meet what the market actually expects from those produced by our system.
Mr. Moloi, I appreciate your time this evening. That was SADTU Free State Secretary Mokholoane Moloi.